world's greatest, Joe. It's the world's greatest. Come on.
In Nigeria, and when we realize that the nation is mostly made up of very young people. I mean, we have way more younger people than we have older people, mostly because of, life expectancy and all that stuff, but let's not get technical. I think the country's population is about 192 million people right now, which is mind-blowing. But when you have those numbers, and when you see numbers like that, there's always an opportunity. So, what do? I am a media presenter and an actor, fashion consultant, and also a writer. The reason why I do so many different things is because you cannot be young in Nigeria and not have at least 4 or 5 streams of income, because we'll just be starving. Unless, you just got it like that, and that's, congrats to you. But there's so many different aspects of, the industry that a lot of people don't know. And in that, there's also a lot of untapped potential. Like, for instance, just because I work in fashion doesn't mean I want to be a designer. I leave the designing to the fashion designers. I like clothes. I like, putting things together. But I'm not going to go and design a shirt or a pair of pants because it will look terrible. It's just not going to look nice. But think about the ending credits of a movie. You have the cast, and then you have the producers, directors, the key grips, the dolly grips. I have no idea what that means, by the way, but all those things that they put in the credits, all those credits that you're seeing are jobs, and those jobs are in the film industry. I think in order to have a well-rounded scope of anything you want to do, be it fashion, entertainment, even engineering work or whatever, I think it's best to know the ins and outs of each line of work, even from the base level to the top, just so you're well-rounded and you can speak with a bit more authority. In the fashion industry, there's designing, there's now an even new crop of thought leaders or influencers. There's brand managers, there's social media experts, there's photography, there's styling, and there's also fashion consultancy, which is different from regular styling. There's just so much that goes into it, and I think a lot of people shouldn't just decide, oh, I want to be a designer, and then just slap, my name in front of something and have a brand. Like, you also have to understand the business behind it, because if you want to have the fashion label or be a designer, you also have to be aware that you're entering a business. So you need to know how to set it up from the ground up. What are the admin things you need to do? Registering your company. Just all these different moving parts that are not so fun for creatives, but are necessary steps to ensuring that you have a bona fide business that will be taken seriously and that actually brings money. The only downside of all of that is you're going to get taxed, but it's very good to pay your taxes, so that's fine. But with what I'm saying, in any aspect of entertainment, acting, music, fashion, writing, drawing, sculpting, anything creative, it's best to understand why you're doing what you're doing. I think every creative has to have their heart behind whatever they're doing. Because if you're just putting things out there with no real organic inspiration, it's going to fall flat. And it's also very important that we start telling our own stories from a unique Nigerian perspective. All the culture in America and London is done. Designers and filmmakers and storytellers alike around the world are looking to Africa as a continent for new stories. They're tapping our ideas and they're trying to tell our story for us. I think it's very important that the younger people, like you guys are I feel like everyone got smarter as from my year below, because everybody's so brilliant now. I think it's very important to embrace your culture and marry what you've learned from, studying where you studied and, taking advantage of the opportunities your parents have given you, and then marrying that with what it means to you to be authentically Nigerian. Let that show in your designs, let that show in your writing, let that show in the stories that you tell. Because nobody else can ever experience what it's like to live your life. You know what it's like to live in this country. Like, when people ask me what it feels like to be Nigerian or what it's like here, I can't ever really say, oh, it's just this one thing. Because you have to just experience Nigeria to understand it. And the people who are gifted, the people who are gifted with words should paint a picture in that regard. Don't pander to, oh, America, let me just talk about what I think they want to hear. Talk about your own unique experiences. Talk about your family structure. Talk about the community around you. Talk about the pressures of growing up. Talk about strict parents. Talk about being a rebel from a unique Nigerian perspective. Let that show in the colors you use to paint. Let that show in the designs you choose to make with your locally sourced fabric. The more we empower our culture, the more we can utilize it to our own gain and make money off of it. And also make sure that we are in control of our narrative and nobody else that isn't Nigerian will be telling us how to feel about ourselves. Alright? So that's all I have for today. But just be fearless, be completely original. There's nothing new under the sun, yes, but you can put your own unique spin on it, and that's your blueprint. And above all, always be present in anything you're putting out, and ensure that you're doing things in a proper way. And look for opportunities everywhere, because we have the numbers here. All right.
Thanks very much, Mr. Denola. Does anybody have questions for him?
My name is Yumika, and I am an architecture student. And I was just wondering, in terms of, okay, so we need to branch out and try to do things our own way, but how do you find opportunities? So you want to do something, but then you don't necessarily know how to do it, or like if it would be. How do you kind of overcome those fears of, will people accept this? Will it be how I imagine it to be?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. A lot of the time, when people have like a vision for something, most of the time they don't necessarily know the direct pathway that they're going to take to achieve that certain thing. And success in whatever he wants to do, sometimes it can come overnight. Sometimes it takes a lot of years of hard work and diligence and a lot of failure to get to where you need to. I think whatever you decide to do is only as good as your resilience and your motivation to do it. Sometimes I say you don't have to have a clear-cut path, just start. Events would lead, like one thing would lead to another, and you'll find that subconsciously you're creating your own path by just being present. So just start. Like if you want to create a company if you want to be an interior designer that also designs buildings, done. Like you can just at least come up with a business plan. Use your network. We have an amazing network of our parents, friends that we don't utilize a lot. Your parents will know somebody that works in architecture. They'll know somebody that knows something about that they can put you in touch with, that you can talk to so you can get a bit more insight. It's all about using your network and learn how to use it to your own advantage. And then from there you'll see other opportunities step by step. So there's never really a clear-cut path. Everyone has a different path. But as long as you just start and then let one thing lead to the next. That's what I did. Like I literally, up to now, to be very honest with you, I don't really think I have any clue what I'm doing. It looks like I do, but I don't. I really don't. I'm making it up as I go along. And I'm trying to understand that like just because I expect something to be a certain way doesn't mean I can't adjust when it doesn't work out the way I want it to. I just recalibrate and I keep moving forward. You just kind of have to, to answer the question.
I'm Chibu, I'm a finance student. I'm not a popular person, but like, this first question was asking me, how do um, you get past the, like, how do you get past the shyness, you know, like, how do you get past like, what people think of you, like, what people may see, they say no, yes, or whatever, like, how do you put that aside and, like, go for what you want, like, yeah, it's quite similar to what you're saying, like, I know, I think we all know who you are, so how do you, like, popularity goes to the side, how do you put all that aside and, like, go straight to what you want to do?
Well, for starters, I believe it or not, I'm actually terrified to set it up here. I was never really good at public speaking. I'm very, very nervous by default. The trick is to not do things just for the popularity. Popularity ain't gonna pay the bills. It's just not. Like, you have to make sure that you're doing things for the right reasons. You're creating things because you feel like you have to put it out there to tell your own story. It shouldn't be just so the A, B, and C would validate you. People's validation should be only a bonus. Everything you do, you should validate yourself. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you should, like, validate yourself. There are a lot of times when I've done things like that a lot of people didn't like. Like, for instance, I think it was two years ago, I started belting my blazers, like my suits, with like a leather woven belt and like a sheer belt. And the first 2 weeks, I think they posted it on a couple of websites and blogs, and people were going in on me. They were like, what the hell is this? It's trash. They were just like insulting me. And over the years, I've gotten thick skin, so there's nothing that says to me that's happening right now. So I typically let those things slide. But then I said, no, these belts that's on my jackets, I'm going to keep it on there. And if you can't deal with this, then don't look at it. Later that year, at Fashion Week, everybody had the belts on their blazers. The point of that story is, whether you do stuff or you don't do stuff, people are always going to talk. Let them. Because if they're taking time out of their day to talk about what you're doing, who's really losing? You're doing your thing. And you're always going to keep on advancing. It takes a lot of practice to develop thick skin. But if you're going to be going out into the world, especially as an entrepreneur or someone who, let's face it, in our authoritarian culture, they don't really want to give the youth a voice, but they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You just have to stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. If something feels right to you intuitively, and you know it's not destructive, and you know it's going to like help you grow, do it. Let them talk. I mean, last, okay, we don't like you. Did you die? No.
Okay, my name is Denola. I'm a business management student, and right now I'm into like fashion, selling bracelets. And I just wanted to find out, like, the fact that I'm studying business management in university, does that have to affect what I do when I graduate?
That's a really good question. So I was just talking about this with my best friend yesterday. I graduated college 6 years ago, and I have not once used my GPA or my degree for anything. Get good grades, please don't misquote me. But in the real world, they want to know that that you went to, and you have some form of higher education, which is great. But by and large, two things that aren't linked, they don't have to, like, one doesn't have to trump the other. You know, you studying estate management and also making bracelets, you can do both. You just have to like manage your time properly and put in the same amount of effort into each one. Yeah, that's just it. I mean, you're allowed to be creative and also work in an office. Look, 9 to 5, people are saying that, oh, 9 to 5 is not for me. 9 to 5 is for some people. It works for them. Like, they like working in an office, they like the structure, fantastic. And I will also say it's actually good to have a structured work environment for at least a year or 2 years, just so if you're going to branch out on your own, you apply that like structure and discipline to your creativity. So that way, give me a salt deliverables. I never worked in an office. I wish I did. Because I don't have that, oh, and I mean, I still get things done, no, but I do it in a way that a person will do is always on the brink of losing it all, and they come to last minute. There has to be a better way to do it, you know. So you can do both. There's also a point where maybe the estate management can actually finance the bracelet making, and then once the jewelry takes over, then you can drop the estate management altogether. So they don't have to be mutually exclusive, they can interdepend.
Hi, sorry for giving all these questions. But I've been a very huge fan of yours. For last 2 years, this stuff we talk about, I was blessed. Because we are like people were like, how do you get this guy? How do you get this guy? For all this nonsense, so I never stopped. Like I was saying, I never stopped. I never stopped listening. I want to ask you something. Because I guess during your dark days, you have some days that you feel like quitting. You have some days that you feel like you are tired of all this. What was really your motivation? What kept you going? And people were like, you're also a passion for consultants, you are also for. What do you really have passion for? This is what you have passion for. This is what kept you doing what you do.
Okay. Thank you, by the way. That was really lovely what you say. Look, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy. Like, even, I mean, you know how stressful it even gets, like, with school, when you're, like, when it's time for finals or whatever, and you're, like, stressing out, you're not sleeping, your eyes twitching half the time, you're losing your hair, talking about myself. But, like, you know how it is, like, it's like that in the real life too, in the real world too. I mean, there's going to be times when you want to give up, when you're just like, I cannot deal. You don't know where anything is coming from. I always say, you're busted and disgusted, broke, used and abused. For me, I think the thing that has helped me personally is just always checking in with myself. Because typically when you feel like that, you're being made to feel uncomfortable for a reason. And I don't see it as a place that I want to unpack and live in. I see it as, okay, what is it that I need to change? Why do I feel this way? What is missing? What do I need to achieve? What is the one thing that is making me feel like empty? And then I address it. And then I make sure that I give myself that thing. The more you empower yourself to be everything you need, it becomes easier living in the world. Because you won't expect people to do things for you. Rather, you go out there and get it yourself. So that's pretty much how it is. There will be dark days. It's just all part of it. But the thing is, if you didn't have dark days, then you'll not recognize when it's good. So you need that. You need that. You know.